Today, Elf and I will be demonstrating the early stages of getting your dog into two-on, two-off position. This is something that is on the novice tricks list for Do More With Your Dog. It's actually also a precursor to some of the more advanced tricks through that program. Two-on, two-off is also something that you may want to use in canine fitness exercises, and many agility dogs are taught to assume a two-on, two-off position on the contact equipment like the A-frame and the dog walk. Two-on, two-off basically means that your dog's two back feet are on something that's elevated as compared to where their two front feet are. Typically their two front feet would be on the ground. So you can use steps for this or a curb. We're going to use the climb platform today, but you don't need to have something so formal, just something where your dog's back end would be elevated over their front end. And in the beginning, you want to use a nice stable surface that your dog is comfortable with. So I'm going to start with Elf up on the surface. Get myself organized here. And then I'm going to ask her to just slowly step down. Step. Good. And ideally, I want her standing with her spine nice and straight. And I'm going to reward nice and low. Break. Get it. Good girl. Okay, load up. So we'll try one more time. If your dog is brand new to this, you might opt to use a food lure in the beginning. I just had her targeting my hand to encourage her to step down because I know that she'll follow my hands pretty readily. Step. Check it. That's it. Good. A little late with that click there. So I'm going to do a few treats in position, and I'm expecting her to stay still until she hears her release cue, which is break. Good job. Okay, load up. Step. Good. So this can be a little bit of an awkward angle for a dog. So if your dog is brand new to this, particularly if they're not a canine athlete and maybe you're not quite as fit as Elf is, you might want to take your time and not ask them to hold position for quite so long. Break. Good job. Load up. Sit. Some troubleshooting, if your dog seems to really be struggling with this, make sure that their spine is nice and straight because this won't be a comfortable position if they're angling towards you. You'll notice I stayed in front of Elf for this as opposed to being off to one side or the other. That would be a more advanced version of this. I was feeding down low so that she would shift her weight forward onto her front legs as opposed to feeding up high, which would have probably caused her to shift her weight back and go into a sit. Because we really do want front feet bearing most of the dog's weight in this stage. This is a fairly high step for stage one. You might opt to take the legs off of a climb or use just a single step, something a little bit lower, and definitely think about the size of your dog and the length of their legs when you're choosing what you're going to use for your two-on, two-off position for teaching this. Let me know if you have questions. I look forward to seeing some Trick Dog videos. Bye.